The crystalline spires of Zephyr Prime caught the light of twin suns, casting fractured rainbows across the courtyard. Commander Thane Reeves, a veteran haunted more by ceremony than combat, adjusted his diplomatic uniform again. He'd faced down cannons without flinching, but negotiating with Queen Sorelia, who held the fate of 2 species in her grip, felt like walking on glass. Ambassador Kellaway muttered, "Stop fidgeting," but Thane was lost. Scanning the palace entrance, haunted by a familiarity he couldn't place, the great doors, grown rather than built, sighed open, revealing the throne chamber, a cavern of bioluminescent, pulsing light. And on the dais, the Queen Sorelia. She was not the woman from the briefings. She was smaller, more delicate, yet her silver-flecked eyes held the weight of ages. The formal introductions began, a theater of practiced words. Then, her attention landed on Thane, Commander Reeves. Her voice wavered, protocol shattering. She rose, descending the dais, the court frozen in disbelief. She stopped before him, her gaze locked on the scar that mapped his jawline. Her hand trembled as she reached, whispering, "May I?" She traced the mark, a path of forgotten geography. "So it was you," she breathed, her composure cracking. The chamber stopped. "Your Majesty, I think Lieutenant," she interrupted, using a name from another life. "Lieutenant Thane Reeves, Colonial Defense Forces, Nexus Station." The world collapsed. 25 years of buried grief resurfaced. The station burning, the klaxons, the young princess with frightened eyes. "Princess Sorelia," he whispered, the name an exorcism. "I thought you were dead. I thought you died saving me," she replied, her smile radiant and heartbreaking. Kellaway cleared his throat. "Commander, perhaps you could explain." Sorelia's royal composure returned, though her eyes never left his. "Because, Ambassador," she said, her voice carrying new, dangerous hope. "Your military representative and I have a history that may either save these talks or destroy them completely." In the private audience chamber, the delegation demanded answers. The official record calls Nexus Station a tragic accident. The official records, Sorelia stated, her voice steel, were a lie. Holograms ignited, showing the station a beacon of interspecies cooperation. Now, a ghost. Thane and Sorelia painted the picture. It was a cultural exchange, a hope for a new era. She was a young idealist. He was the junior officer assigned to her protection detail. Dr. Chen asked the critical question, "What kind of relationship did you develop?" "It's always the human element, the variable strategists never account for." 6 months, Sorelia said, of realizing our differences were insignificant. 6 months, Thane added quietly, of falling in love. Kellaway paled. A breach of protocol, a diplomatic nightmare. But it was more, Sorelia insisted it was the first genuine diplomatic breakthrough, until someone decided to destroy it. Thane said grimly, "The explosion wasn't an accident, it was sabotage." They were in the central hall when the coordinated attacks began. Human and Zephyrian extremists, or so it seemed. "He got her through the fire. He ignored my royal commands to save himself." She smiled faintly. "She kept stopping to help others," he countered. The smiles faded. "The only escape was a single pod. He put me in it," she whispered, "and stayed behind." Kellaway finished, grasping the enormity of it. They were separated, recovered by different ships, and told the other was dead. Both governments buried the truth. But someone was responsible, Colonel Hayes insisted. And now, Thane said, the realization settling like ice. These peace negotiations represent the exact same threat to those same interests. As if on cue, an alert flashed. Unusual communications between both human and Zephyrian extremist groups. The past is never dead. It isn't even past 3 in the morning. The archives beneath the palace were a library of crystal memories. Thane moved through the shadows, a soldier playing spy. "Why not both?" Sorelia's voice emerged from the dark. A romantic rendezvous and a paranoid intelligence briefing. She'd shed her regalia, and for a moment they were 23 again. Stealing time on Nexus Station. They worked, royal access codes parting the veils of history. The data flowed, intercepts from 25 years ago, cross-referenced between human and Zephyrian extremists. "Same routing protocols," Thane muttered, comparing it to the new intelligence. "Same funding transfers. It's the same conspiracy arms, dealers, military contractors, ideologues, all profiting from the Cold War." A chime froze them. Footsteps, they hid, pressed together behind a data crystal. Cerelia's warmth against him as the patrol passed. One guard, human. The other, Zeph. Some things never change, he whispered. Some things shouldn't, she replied. The patrol moved on. They laughed, a quiet absurdity. This was not the reunion either imagined. The stars sing the same song, Cerelia said, even when we forget the melody. They dug deeper, and the picture clarified. The conspiracy wasn't just external. We have a problem, Thane said. The payments, they lead to members of my own delegation. Cerelia went still. And on my side, members of the Royal Council. They were surrounded, unable to trust their own people. How do you fight a shadow that wears your own uniform? Just then, both their devices chimed. Urgent alerts. His, from Colonial Intelligence, warns of Zephyrian plots, specifically cautioning him against her. Hers, from Zephyrian Intelligence, warns of human infiltration, targeting him. They looked at each other. The trap sprung. They're starting, she said. The disinformation. Except this time, Thane said, deleting the message. We know the game. Dawn. The emergency session was hostile. The scandal had broken. Classified recordings, Kellaway seethed, broadcast across the galaxy. The edits painted their meetings as a romantic conspiracy to manipulate the talks. The recordings are authentic, Cerelia announced, silencing the room. The delegates gasped. Commander Reeves and I have indeed had private conversations. She let the shock settle. Just as I've considered the implications of letting these talks be destroyed by the same conspiracy that murdered 300 people at Nexus Station. She had their attention. Thane activated the display. The evidence flooded the room, the finances, the intercepts, the traitors in their midst. For 25 years, Cerelia's voice rang with authority. Extremists have profited from our Cold War, and the private meetings, Colonel Hayes asked, were necessary. Thane replied, to investigate the conspiracy without alerting the saboteurs in our own delegations. This is a serious charge, Commander. Kellaway protested. And this, Cerelia gestured to the data, is the evidence. But your methods, a Zephyrian liaison argued, your ... relationship, has compromised everything. No, Thane countered. Our relationship is the one thing that hasn't been compromised. It's the proof of concept. Cerelia stood, regal and defiant. We're admitting to a relationship that survived fire, 25 years of lies, and the efforts of those who fear peace. Our love story isn't a liability. It is proof that humans and Zephyrians are not natural enemies. It is the diplomatic breakthrough. The room was stunned. This was the ultimate gambit, turning scandal into the treaty's very symbol. Before anyone could argue, alarms blared. A guard captain materialized. Your Majesty, extremist vessels approaching, both human and Zephyr. They're targeting the palace. The Nexus playbook, repeated. How long? Thane demanded. For hours. We have a choice, Cerelia said. Evacuate, and let terror win, or stay. Finish the treaty, and prove that love and unity are stronger than violence. They voted to stay. 4 hours later, as enemy ships scarred the sky, the Treaty of Zephyr Prime was signed, broadcast live. The extremist attack came, but the broadcast changed the equation. The defense fleets human and Zephyrian watched, and they chose. They fought together, a unified force, crushing the conspiracy that had fed on their division. In the throne room, the bioluminescent walls pulsed with celebration. Cerelia touched Thane's scar. So it was you, she whispered, finishing the thought from a lifetime ago. It was you who helped me save our worlds. We saved them together, he replied, kissing her hand. Outside, ships from 2 species patrolled a shared sky, their peace forged in a love that refused to die.